Okay, I'm back to reviewing more of Season 2's Hazbin Hotel, cause 1, I needed something to watch till Fiona and Cake's next episode, and 2, so I can see Abel. Other than that, I'm just seeing how this all plays out. And boy! Well, not really boy, since this week's episodes were lightning fast, and the only real thing that happened was the angels coming down and Vox declaring war. Everything else was pretty much just background noise to me, unfortunately. Anywho, like I said in my last video, I'm just gonna give my first impressions and a few notes on things I noticed for episode 5 and 6, so spoilers, obviously. And while last week's episodes pissed me off, this week's just left me confused and bored. So let's get this over with, shall we? Okay, we start the episode with Katie recapping what happened with Alistair and asks what Vox's next move is, and we get the first song of the episode, which is pretty good, not gonna lie. I like that we get to see more overlords, including their little areas of hell, and the changes of musical styles were fun too, but Vox, buddy, I like a good cha-cha-cha too, but no, never do that again. But also, as weird as it is kinda nice to see characters act/say stuff to their time period. Anyway, after the song, we move on to the hotel, where Charlie is trying to get Emily's attention for days. Charlie then says she has no way of reaching her, and it's like, yes you do. Your dad. He did it once, he can do it again. Also, Vaggie is still doing the name change thing, which is nice to see. But after a quick kiss, Charlie states that everything would be easier if Alistair were there, which, like, no, I seriously don't understand how Charlie doesn't see that he does not want to actually help the hotel in any way. Like, the pilot is still somewhat canon, so the whole point of Alistair being there still stands. I just don't understand how she just glosses over it. Also, Charlie is still on her kick on stopping Vox by proving Sir Pentious is in heaven, and like, girl, let it go. Thankfully, Vaggie does what we've all wanted Charlie to do and asks Lucifer to stop Vox. We then learn Lucifer can't actually kill sinners, stating it's his punishment, which, huh? Like, damn, Lucifer can't do anything. This honestly just feels like a quick way to avoid him actually being able to help. But also, it's really weird because we know from Viv, Lucifer made the Goetia and is the leader of the deadly sins. So why not just threaten Vox by saying, while I might not be able to do anything, the army underneath me can. Plus, this just begs the question, could he like get an angelic weapon and just do what needs to be done? Or could he just not hire someone to do it? Like, I don't know, but, Oh, and also we see Vaggie is keeping the hotel going, and that Huss sucks at group therapy, but it was nice to see Baxter running around, and some of the small hints to what's going on with Angel. Anyway, Vaggie makes the point that Vox doesn't know that, and that he should go and scare him into leaving the hotel alone, and he agrees. Meanwhile, Charlie is still trying to get Emily's attention, and we see Heaven is watching and having a meeting on what to do. And in walks Sir Pentious to give his input. Emily suggests that they say sorry and bring gift baskets, which I am okay with Abel and Emily acting like this is an okay thing to do. They're the two that had zero idea about what was going on. Plus, Emily is just as naive as Charlie, and Abel died crazy young and has probably just been living in a kid's safety zone for thousands of years. But also, he and Emily were really cute about the whole gift basket thing, and Sir P kind of implies that maybe only Charlie would like the gift basket, and hands down probably didn't want to scare Emily, but Sarah asks if this is still a good idea, and Sir P brings back what Charlie taught him on saying sorry. They then all leave and surprise Charlie. We get the same rundown of them wanting to apologize, and Charlie, with her smooth brain wisdom, thinks to take the angels to Vox's rally to prove that redemption is real and that everything she says is correct, to which she does. But before that, we move on to the V's tower, and Vox getting ready for his rally, and Alistair trying to break the V's up, which I know he thinks he's doing something, but Vox was already on his way to doing that, so again, Alistair, you're not really doing anything. But Vox sidelines Val and Velvet, and he goes on stage and mentions how proud Lilith would be and that he's going to take on the angels, and boom, we get his intro song, which is really good and so silly. But I just have to ask, why do all of this in the most public place? Lucifer, dude. And Vox even points it out that it's weird he showed up and starts to sing about how they don't need a king, and that he's just picking up where Lilith started, but says she threatened heaven, and Lucifer makes a face, which makes me think otherwise, but the full song number kicks in, and it's also pretty good, and Vox is making goodish points, but more so just doing a whole lot of saying things that sound nice, but like have no actual proof for it. Like he's so sure he can get up into heaven and rule it, but like who even knows if the weapon he has being made next episode is even gonna do what he wants it to do. But Vox embarrasses Lucifer by showing he can't hurt him, and even says that Lilith knew that sinners didn't deserve a never-ending existence of suffering, but like, some kind of do. Like there is a reason some people are in hell, but Lucifer walks off, and right as Vox finishes his song number, Charlie and the angels show up, which... okay, here we go again. Vox gets right back into making solid points about them saying sorry for allowing the exterminations to happen, and that bringing gift baskets to apologize for genocide, which I'm no expert on the subject, but they're already dead, so does that still count? Anyway, yeah, it's a bad look. Vox then spins the narrative saying that they're there to flaunt their power because they killed Adam. Emily then keeps saying that they're there to apologize, and Vox again makes the point, why would they forgive them for all the sinners taken? And then mentions Lucifer threatening them, and now the angels, which off topic-ish. So, okay, I understand Emily not getting how big a deal this all is, but you would think that to show they mean no harm, they would actually try to show that Serpentius is in heaven. Like, there has to be a way to showcase that he's there and in their care, and that they want to invest, we'll say, into Charlie's hotel, and that they can't excuse what happened, but want to try to make a new order between heaven and hell. But no, the one person who could say all that just stands there. Anyway, Charlie gets mad Lucifer is there, which, how has he not left? But hands down, best joke from him. Anyway, Emily is overwhelmed, and Sarah gets so upset she shows her true form, which kind of validates Vox's lie about them coming to flaunt their power. And it gets even worse when Sarah says that sinners like Vox are the reason that she allowed for the extermination, that they're power-hungry and violent, which honestly seems somewhat fair in like the fear category, but Vox does what Vox does and bends what she says into saying that the extermination was to silence sinners, which no, but we get the best part of Vox's song, and that he's declaring war. The angels leave, and Serpentius, bless his heart, thought it went well, but ends up comforting Emily. The last of the sinners at the hotel leave due to the news. Charlie comes home furious at Lucifer, and he says Vaggie told him she was having problems with Vox and he wanted to help. Then Vaggie asks what happened, even though she just told the sinners who left the hotel it's not that bad, but Charlie then says that Lucifer being at the rally ruined everything, and that the angels came to apologize, but Vox was able to spin Lucifer being there, which, like, if Lucifer hadn't shown up, I guarantee that Vox would have spun the angels being there regardless if he showed up or not. And then Vaggie finally speaks out to Charlie, saying that's what Vox does, and only sent Lucifer so if he could get Vox to back down, Charlie would finally let it go, because she's not listening and is too hyperfixated on what he says about her. To which Charlie says he's hurting the hotel by saying all of this, and thank God for Vaggie when she says Charlie is actually the one hurting the hotel. Charlie obviously gets defensive, and Vaggie says she does care about her and is on her side, but she needs to be told the truth, to which Charlie backpedals more and says if Vaggie doesn't believe in her, which girl, that's all Vaggie's ever done for you, but says she can do it herself. Vaggie angrily agrees and leaves. And poor Lucifer is told to leave and that he effed things up for her enough, which, girl, stop it! You ruin things for you. Everyone is trying to help you. And then we get shots of everyone sad and the episode is over. Whew, what a cliffhanger. Good thing we don't have to wait or sit on any of it. So on to episode 6 we go. Episode 6. Okay, we start with Vox trying to get Carmilla on his side and uses Velvet to do so by having her apologize for the meeting last season. And even with that, Carmilla still won't agree to build the weapon Vox wants or in on the war. But Vox, who is just on a roll this season, points out that Carmilla started this by giving Charlie weapons, and even though he still doesn't know, she did start even more by killing the first angel, but he makes a good argument that she may think she's safe, but when the angels find out it was her weapons who killed Adam, well, and with that, Carmilla agrees, and she and Zestiel part ways, who's been the spider on the wall this whole time, stating that he won't join her in this. And in their whole conversation, we do learn that Carmilla was once married in hell. Anyway, Vaggie is doing her hotel duties, and we see Rooster Man stayed at the hotel. Aww. Hands down, I really love his design. But when Vaggie fixes the TV, she learns Carmilla and Vox have partnered up. Also, y'all know me, I love world building stuff, so the scream rain was a nice touch. However, though, Vaggie asks the cast if they're hearing this and they kind of ignore her, and Husk says Charlie should ask Vaggie to be the therapist as he's not good at it, and how Vaggie is pretty much doing everything, and we see Vaggie and Charlie still aren't speaking, and their bickering makes Husk leave the hotel, plus pointing out that Alistair isn't around to keep him there, and that there's nothing at the hotel to keep him, and Cherry goes, "What about Angel?" Which, like, man, do I wish they were just meant to be friends. Because Husk says, like, the best mentor slash dad figure could say that Angel's a grown man and doesn't need him. Like, that's so dad coded to me. Anyway, Vox is on the TV talking about Lilith, saying she started the resistance to take back Hell's power by force, and Charlie tells us that's not true, that the protests were peaceful, but like, how? We're in hell, like everyone likes to remind me. Plus, what is the point of the protests if the exterminations happened after she disappeared? Like what was hell before that? Was it like way worse than it is now? Or what? What was the point? What was the point of these protests? Anyway, Charlie and Vaggie go to see Carmilla, and Nifty is put in charge, and man, do I wish we got to see what she does instead of following Husk to his old casino and going nuts. Also, the VA for Charlie from Smiling Friends is in this episode, and boy, does hearing him take you out a bit. Like, I love the guy, but damn, did it feel like ice on the back to hear him. Anyway, we get the first song of the episode, and no hate to Keith, he's great, but the song was just meh to me. Like, visuals and the background vocals were fun, but maybe it's because Keith's not singing fast enough, or that it kind of sounds like the intro to Very Odd Parents to me. But yeah, anyway though, love the employees of this place. So cute. But Husk's song does show how easy it is for Husk to spiral, but it doesn't really hit for me for some reason. I think maybe if he got kicked out and like roughed up a bit and was alone in the rain and went to another bar that was like a bit more run down, then maybe I'd feel bad for him, but he's just left to sit and drink in a relatively nice bar that he once owned. Anyway, we move on to Carmilla's factory and Vaggie telling Charlie to let her talk since Carmilla listens to her, and girl, you had one conversation. Don't get cute thinking you're special. Carmilla asks what they want, and they rant about her joining with Vox, and that Lilith wouldn't have wanted this, and the war is not the answer, to which Carmilla makes a point. How do they know Heaven doesn't want to hurt them after Vox just declared war? Vaggie admits that they don't, but that the hotel does work, and starting a war doesn't make sense, and why is she even going along with it? Carmilla admits it's to defend herself and her daughters, just like the hotel did when she gave them weapons, and that they started this war when they killed Adam, and how can they still believe Heaven is the answer when all they've done is hurt them? And we get a quick flashback to Vaggie in Heaven where one of the girls is slapped by Lute for crying, and then another of Vaggie comforting the same girl and being ripped apart by Adam and Lute, and then another flashback to when Lute attacked her. This all makes Vaggie kind of second guess Heaven, and like, it makes sense for Vaggie to distrust because of the position she was in Heaven. Like, she was a part of something that was kept secret and like hidden away, so a lot of bad stuff probably was able to slide because no one was keeping track. So like, it makes sense for Vaggie to be like 50-50 on Heaven, as she's probably never got to experience the good side of Heaven. She had to experience Heaven through Lute and Adam's eyes, which is not great. But Charlie steps in and says that it's because they shouldn't become them. Charlie then tries to say Lilith's beliefs, but Carmilla cuts her off and says that Lilith is gone and that war is coming and she's choosing the winning side. Charlie and Vaggie then leave, and we go right back to Husk talking to himself, and we get the next song, which, oh my god, finally Angel Dust in drag. See, all of y'all who get bent out of shape on me dressing Angel Dust in drag can suck it. He's still a drag queen. And I say still because in the Zoophobia days, he was also a drag queen. Anyway, the song Lady Luck is actually pretty good, and it's just a simple number 2, which is a nice change of pace, though I will say the blackouts in the song number was an odd choice. And I wish it was more of a color change, but the song ends and we cut over to Val directing dancers. I think. But I love how they're all bugs. Anyway, Vox walks in and says he needs Angel for a bit. Valentino gets upset. He isn't more a part of things. Vox talks almost his way out of it until Velvet interrupts, saying it's funny how now Vox only sees them when he wants something. Alistair eggs him on, and Vox tries to hypnotize Val, and we learn that his abilities don't work on him, which... how? And while I hate Val, he did get a laugh at me from him telling Vox he's from Florida after speaking Spanish and Vox calling it an island language. Anyway, we're back at the hotel and it's a mess, which, I wish we saw what happened. Like, cut the whole Vox asking to see Angel and just show us something. Like, maybe have Charlie trying to break the ice on the way home and saying, oh gee, I hope Nifty's day went well, and show us all the craziness. Plus, not showing the whole Vox needing Angel scene makes the surprise better, in my opinion. Anyway, Vaggie heads up to the penthouse where Charlie has made a blanket fort and admits Vaggie was right, and they have a somewhat good conversation, and Vaggie voices it's hard when Charlie doesn't hear her and weirdly says it's okay, which no, it's not, and Charlie agrees but goes into a me confession about the hotel and her mom, and that she wants her to come back and tell her what she did to make her leave, and like, all the therapy and group therapy I've done is screaming that Charlie still isn't listening, and even though she agrees it's not okay for Vaggie to feel like it's okay, she still makes it about her feelings and then spirals about her dreams dying and that everyone leaves. Like, hello? Vaggie is right there. Also, pick a lane. You either push people away or they leave. It's not the same. And then we get the so-called sexy Chaggy song, and it's fine. Still a little weird Vaggie's first thought to console Charlie is sex, but borderline toxic Yuri gonna toxic Yuri, I guess. I will say though that the dance number was really great, and now we're back to Angel and Husk. They have a brief conversation, and Husk says he's quit the hotel. Angel is hurt by this, but accepts it, and Husk apologizes for pushing Angel that day Vox visited the hotel, and Angel asks if Husk is still mad he tried to save his life, and Husk says he wasn't really mad, just thought he wasn't worth saving, which is kind of weird, I guess, because like dude can turn into cards and was pretty upset that he was tied down, but sure, yeah. Anyway, Angel has to go and tells Husk he'll see him at the hotel, and Husk says he won't, but ends up going back anyway. Angel meets up with Val, and we see what Vox needed Angel for, though I'm so confused on why he hid from Angel, but whatever. We learn Vox has been hypnotizing Angel to get info on the hotel, which I'm kind of confused by, since he sent Sir P to do that, but like, apparently could have always used Angel. Also, everyone has Vox's apps and phones, and at one point that big-ass TV. Why didn't he use that to tap the hotel? Or better yet, Baxter. He works for Vox. Anyway, they take Angel back to the tower to do a presentation for next episode, and the dress Velvet has for him is so ugly. Anyway, Husk makes it back to the hotel, expecting Angel to be there, which, like, dude, he just said he has a shoot to do that's probably gonna be hours long. But Cherry mentions he hasn't responded to her text, and they get worried. Also, it's funny how Baxter and Nifty have so much chemistry without ever being the focal point this entire season. Anyway, Charlie calls Lucifer back to the hotel, or so we think, as it was actually Vox doing a voice changer, which, man, do I wish he used that more often. And then we end on a very lame joke of Vox being confused by the scream rain, and that's the end. Okay, final thoughts. So yeah, episode 5 is honestly all I care to talk about, and a little of the whole Angel was the spy thing, because episode 6 was just honestly, it was just placed weird. Like, if the episodes were swapped, including their focal points, like maybe have Charlie try to ignore Vox for once, like she's playing it cool but keeps seeing stuff and it drives her up the wall, and Vaggie is either cleaning up a mess she made or is trying to just be there. But we'll say that like at the end of the episode, Charlie gets the idea to get Emily's attention and destroys the hotel to make the balcony, and Vaggie loses it and calls her out, and we have them do the whole take a break thing. Meanwhile, we have Vox going to Overlords and getting them to be on his side, and he gets Carmilla to make the weapon, along with more hints to Vox hypnotizing Angel, and like have Al actually speed up the V's breakup. And then next episode is gonna be like just pretty much the same rundown, but more hints that Vox is spying on the hotel, and Charlie and Vaggie are still still not talking, but instead of Vaggie going to Lucifer, he notices things are tense and asks what's up, and Vaggie tells him, and instead of her asking him to go kill Vox, he says he wish he could kill all the sinners who hurt his daughter, and that's how we learn he can't hurt sinners. And of course Vaggie then says it's sweet he wants to help, but it's probably best to stay away from Vox, even if he could do anything. Lucifer, just like his daughter, gets a bad idea, and then everything is roughly the same after that, except the ending where we learn Angel's the spy. And yeah, Vaggie and Charlie still don't really make up, and instead we could have like a sad love song. Like, let that shit marinate for a bit, you know? Anyway though, that's like my full issue with the setup, but my overall key points are Lucifer being nerfed. Like, Lucifer being nerfed is insane to me, and this is why I didn't want him to move in. Plus, with Charlie not even trying to use her rank, and Alistair getting shot down again and again, and I'm just so tired, y'all. Plus, like, if this is hell and it's meant to be a punishment, then why have Lucifer not be able to hurt sinners? Like, how is he still looked at as the king of hell? We saw everyone at the hotel in season 1 get scared and excited, so like, what did he do to achieve that? This all feels like a weird attempt to make the stakes higher and Vox look more powerful without actually having anything to block him. Cause like, why not have Charlie and Lucifer beat him? Like, think of how that would look to the sinners he's gassing up. Like, keep Vox as he is, but use Lucifer and Charlie's strength and abilities to hit that final nail in the coffin of people respecting them. Like, show how the dynamic of hell has shifted instead of making the sinners mindless, smooth-brain idiots. And my next thing is Lilith's whole thing. I am genuinely so confused on Lilith's whole deal with empowering sinners, because I assumed it was her way of uniting hell to fight heaven in a way. But then we've got Charlie going, they were peaceful protests. Like, huh? Also, if the exterminations happened after she left, then what exactly was she protesting? Like, what is this? This is why the 7-year thing doesn't work. Plus, with the way season 1 was, Charlie made it seem like this had been going on for a long time, and now with an actual time frame, it all feels confusing and silly. Plus, now I'm even more confused about Charlie. She says she's doing this for her mother and it's her dream, but like, why does she want to redeem sinners? What got her to care and inspired her? I just really need a motivation from her, because she acts like this is the end of everything. Her song even mentions if this doesn't work, her life's a joke. Like, girl, you're 200 years old and you started this 7 years ago. Do not play with me. Like, ugh. And the last thing is Angel Dust being the spy. I think Angel being a spy since season 1 is kind of stupid. Not the like idea of it, but the execution of it, since a twist doesn't work if we don't see hints or clues about it prior. And no, episode 5 does not count. It was the lowest of efforts to add it in, since literally in the next episode it's revealed. Ugh. Anyway though, music was good, nothing new there, but these speed runs to the climax moments for this instant relief that the show likes to do is getting old. But at least Vox has been consistently entertaining and keeping the plot moving, so there's that. But yeah. But hey, next week's the big finale, so let's see how this all goes. Bye for now, guys.